You are not behind. It just feels that way. You open your phone, and someone your age is launching something, moving somewhere, achieving something, and suddenly your own life feels smaller, slower, quieter, less impressive. So you start calculating where you should be, what you should have done by now, how far ahead everyone else seems to be. But what if you are not behind? What if you are just constantly measuring your real life against everyone else's edited version? Keep watching closely, because the discomfort is not random. It is built into the way modern life shows you other people. You can be sitting still and still feel chased. You can be doing fine and still feel late. It happens in the quiet moments, not the dramatic ones. You close a tab, unlock your phone, refresh without thinking, and your brain performs the same fast calculation. Where am I compared to them? Not compared to an ideal, compared to someone specific, someone whose life is presented in the cleanest possible slice. And the strange part is that the comparison rarely feels like jealousy. It feels like information, like you are simply observing reality. Everyone else seems to have momentum. They have plans, updates, proof. You do not feel attacked. You feel outpaced. Your mind turns it into a timeline. Their promotion becomes your delay. Their relationship becomes your gap. Their trip becomes your missing chapter. The more you watch, the more your day starts to feel like a holding pattern. You are not living behind your own standards. You are living behind a moving target made of other people's highlights. Picture the normal day when this hits hardest. You wake up and reach for the phone before you fully sit up. Not to be entertained, to check. You scan faces, milestones, a photo of a dinner you were not at. You feel nothing big, just a thin pressure in the chest. Later, you stand in line somewhere and watch someone your age announce a new job. You do the math in your head, instantly. Years, salary, status. You keep scrolling while your thumb moves faster than your attention. You do not even like most of what you see, but you keep gathering it, like your brain believes it is studying for a test. At work or school, you open a document and your mind slides away from the sentence you were writing. It slides toward a memory of a post, a friend's new apartment, a classmate's engagement, someone's gym progress photo. Your own task suddenly feels smaller. You try to return to your work, but the meaning has shifted. It is not that the task is hard, it is that it no longer feels like progress. It feels like maintenance. Then there are the micro scenarios that seem harmless. You see a person from high school smiling next to a new car. You do not want the car, but you do want the feeling that comes with the car, visible forward motion. You see someone's weekend trip. You do not want that exact trip. You want the certainty that you are using your life correctly. See a friend's group photo and your brain does not say, "I am lonely." It says, "I am not included in the normal flow." Even your quiet choices start to look suspicious. A night at home becomes wasting time only because you saw someone else's night outside. A steady routine becomes stuck only because you witnessed someone else's change. A slow season becomes falling behind only because you saw someone else's announcement. The comparisons are not occasional anymore. They are ambient, like background noise that your nervous system still reacts to. Here is the first reframe, and it is sharper than it sounds. This feeling is not a personal failure of confidence. It is a patterned response to a certain kind of input. Humans evaluate themselves by comparison. That is not new. What is new is the speed, volume, and selectiveness of the comparison material. Your brain is doing exactly what it evolved to do: use other people as reference points when objective measures are unclear. The open loop comes from this. The reference points never stop moving. There is no final answer to where you stand, because the feed never produces an ending. So the problem is not that you compare. The problem is the environment that turns comparison into an endless measurement. Mechanism layer 1 is upward comparison under uncertainty. When life is unclear, the mind grabs what looks clear. Online, clarity is manufactured. People post results, not attempts. They post transitions, not the months of confusion. They post the best angle, the best lighting, the best day. This creates a specific distortion. It makes other people's outcomes look frequent and your own outcomes look rare. You start to believe that everyone else is consistently improving while you are repeatedly restarting. Upward comparison has a strange effect. It does not only lower your mood, it changes your attention. You begin to search for evidence that you are behind. You notice the age of the person who achieved something. You notice the speed. You notice the applause. You begin collecting data points that confirm the same conclusion. This is why the feeling can grow even when your life is improving. Improvement does not end the comparison habit. It can intensify it, because now you are monitoring whether your improvement is competitive. And once your brain treats life as a leaderboard, peace becomes suspicious. If you feel calm, you wonder if you are missing something. If you are not anxious, you interpret it as laziness. You do not just scroll for entertainment. You scroll for calibration. Stop for a second and notice what you call falling behind. That label does not come from your actual day. It comes from borrowed timelines. There is a deeper layer beneath the comparison, and it runs without your permission. Because the moment you think you understand it, it speeds up again. Mechanism layer 2 is the illusion of continuous opportunity, also known as the pressure of constant options. Modern platforms do not only show you what others did, they show you what exists. Careers, cities, bodies, relationships, side hustles, aesthetic lifestyles, new skills, new identities. The range of visible possibilities becomes wider than any single human life can hold. That creates a specific psychological trap. When there are too many paths, every path you are not taking starts to look like a mistake. This is where fear of missing out becomes more than parties and trips. It becomes existential. You are not just missing an event. You are missing a version of yourself. The feed does not simply show you other people. It shows you parallel lives you could have lived. Your brain reacts to those parallel lives as if they are active threats to your current one. Then comes the second trap, adaptation. Even when you do get something you wanted, your mind adjusts quickly. The new job becomes normal. The new routine becomes baseline. The new purchase loses its charge. You are not broken for this. It is a known human pattern. The nervous system adapts to gains and then searches for the next reference point. In a feed-driven world, the next reference point is delivered instantly. Before satisfaction has time to settle, your attention is pulled toward the next person, the next upgrade, the next sign that your current life is already outdated. This is why common attempts to fix the feeling fail. People try to work harder to catch up, but the target moves, so the feeling returns. People try to be grateful, but gratitude becomes another performance metric, another way to judge yourself for not being at peace fast enough. People try to stop comparing, but that is like telling your eyes to stop seeing depth. The mind compares automatically. The only question is what it compares to, and how often. Now zoom out. The sense of being behind is not only psychological, it is structural. Modern life removed many shared timelines. In earlier eras, communities had clearer sequences: school, work, family roles, local milestones, fewer visible alternatives. That structure had limits, and it also had problems, but it did one thing well: it reduced the number of comparison targets. Today, you are not comparing yourself to a small group of peers with similar constraints. You are comparing yourself to a global, curated set of people who are selected by algorithms for attention, not for fairness. You do not see an average distribution of normal days. You see what is most trickable, most admirable, most beautiful, most shocking, most polished. And because the content repeats, your brain starts to treat it as common. Rare outcomes start to feel ordinary. Ordinary effort starts to feel inadequate. Even time itself is displayed differently. You watch other people's finished moments compressed into seconds. A decade of skill becomes a 30-second clip. A long financial climb becomes a single announcement. A relationship's private repairs become a public photo. Your brain compares your unedited process to their edited result. That is not a moral issue. It is a measurement error. Here is the final reframe. The feeling of being behind is a form of misplaced surveillance. You are monitoring other people as if their lives contain the schedule for yours. You are using their visibility as evidence of their progress. And you are using your privacy as evidence of your stagnation. The mind treats what is seen as what is real. That is why your own life can feel strangely unreal when it is not being displayed. Once you see that, the feeling changes shape. It becomes less like a verdict and more like a signal. You are observing too many reference points, too quickly, with too little context. You are not losing at life. You are running a comparison system against impossible data. And this is the quiet thought to end on. The modern world makes watching feel like participation. It makes tracking feel like living. It makes other people's momentum feel like your responsibility. If you feel behind, it does not mean your life is failing. It means your mind has been trained to treat other people's highlights as the clock. And a clock built from other people never tells time. It only measures distance.